Hi, and welcome to That Guy's a Maniac, the podcast. I'm your host, Richie.
And I'm your host, Kanzi11, aka Farley. Cue the music. Well, come to
Oh, brilliant.
in between us. Richie,
In Betwixtmas.
in betwixtmas, did you get some nice gaming time in?
I played a few games over the Christmas holidays. I enjoyed the Steam sale and spent more money on things that I'll probably just never play, which is great to know.
Yes, I did as well, with some deep cuts in the sales. And when something's like 70% off, you're like,
Yeah. It's like,
Wow.
what is it? In fact, a very, very pertinent one. The what is it called? Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah,
Kill the Justice League.
the Justice League, yeah.
Yeah. Was reduced by 95% down to $2.99 or something like that.
Did you pick it up?
I did not.
Hey, gotta wait until it's lower.
No, I'm not gonna. Just no point in buying that one.
Gotta wait until it's lower. I did pick up some games in the sale, which I'm sure I might actually talk about later, so I won't reveal it now. But also, weirdly, I got into like a weird betwixtmas nostalgia. So I beat both Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. 3.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So was this like All Stars or was it the NES version?
NES versions of both
Okay.
of them. It was good. I was in the... You know how sometimes you're just better at games than other times?
Yes.
And I was weirdly I was in whatever flow or in good games mood or mode or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was like levels that I knew were coming up that I was freaking out about. Oh god, there's that level. I'm probably going to stop the run there. No problem. So yeah, good.
Brilliant. I mean, that's great. Like,
Yeah, it's fun.
It's good when you get into that level of flow as well.
Yeah, it just wasn't a problem. You know, just world 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Done. Okay, cool.
Brilliant.
I don't think I'd ever beaten Mario 3 before.
Oh.
I thought I had, and then I was in the final fight. I was like, I've definitely not done this before.
I've completed Mario 3 a few times. But I always get ruined because I know where all the whistles are, and you can just get straight to World 8 or the final in World 8. In fact.
Yeah, I don't think that helps too. I mean, obviously you skip a lot, but then you don't have much in the way of items, right?
Exactly.
Which makes World 8 quite tricky.
But if you've got the 3 whistles, you go right to the end of World 8, and you're just basically fighting Bowser straight away. That final ship is awful. Like, there's so many things to just trip you up as well.
Yeah, there's like the 2 tanks, there's the boat, then the airship, and then the... Do you remember the fucky fortress? There's a really fucky fortress, which has like a back and a front. So you keep going through doors. There's basically 2 castles, and you transition between them through the doors.
Yeah.
And there's like a hidden doorway which goes through to whatever his face is. Boo Boo,
Yeah.
whatever his name is. Bow Wow. What is that guy's name?
Boom Boom.
Boom Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was stuck for ages. It's like running out of time on those. But yeah, the rest is good. Interesting, fun thing I'd never noticed before. I was in the Tanuki suit when I finished one of the worlds.
Yep.
And the king says, "Thank you, raccoon."
Yes, each one of the suits has a different spiel. But
and in one of them I had the Hammer Bro suit,
yeah,
which is probably the rarest.
Yeah, it is. It's an amazing one. It's also a pain in the arse to get.
It's a pain in the ass to get.
You have to do the whole. There's a hidden pipe, and you have to like shoot the ice blocks away to get to it.
Yeah. I was just got there without really trying. Mario kind of gives you a sense of, oh, there's something here, and I was just following it. And then the king's like, "Can I get your clothes?"
No
Or
dice.
something.
No dice.
Huh?
No dice.
No dice.
Yeah, that's what the king. So basically, so Mario, it says, "Can I get your clothes?"
Yeah.
And then it says, "No dice?" Question
Yeah.
mark. So and then something or other. I remember him just saying "no dice" for ages with the Hammer Bros suit. I forget what it's called. It's got another name.
The Hammer Bros suit.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But it's yeah, so he says no dice, and I had no idea what that means. Apparently, it's a callback to a detective in the 70s, which used to say no dice.
Okay. I mean, it's a fairly common saying, no? No dice.
I had never heard it before, except on Mario 3. So whenever I hear it, all I think of is yeah.
Ah, you're a Mario Bros 3 fan, are you?
But yeah, I forget the name of the suit. That's annoying. Hammer suit.
According to Super Mario Wiki, it's either Hammer suit, Hammer Bros suit, Hammer Brothers suit, or Hammer Brothers suit.
Okay. But yeah, I used to love having the Hammer Brothers suit because of the hammer, but it's a real pain to get used to it. And usually by the time you do get used to it, you're dead. You've lost it.
Yeah. You've got like a really decent kill zone, right? And you can take out boos and you can take out thwomps.
Yep.
But if anything gets within your kill zone, you're fucked. You're basically fucked. So all of a sudden, like, Goombas become a threat because you can't get them when they're right in front of you.
Yeah. And Tanuki, did you do any of the cool turning into statue things that you can do?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Not
in any way that helped. Oh, there's one level where I think it blocks piranha plant fireballs. It was actually useful.
But you can do such things as like stomp on thwomps and stuff like that. So if you're like jumping above them and press down and B, the statue falls and it can kill certain things.
Oh, nice! I didn't do that at all.
Yeah, that's really cool. But yeah, the Tanuki suit is definitely the superior of the lot. Like you say, once you've got that sort of dead zone in between the hammers and you're just like, run.
Yeah.
But I think you can do something cool. I think you can fire the hammers from the Goomba shoe, if you're ever able to do that.
Oh, yeah, I can get in the Goomba shoe with the... Did I have the hammer suit on the Goomba shoe? Yeah, there's something like that.
Yeah. Anyway,
nostalgia.
It's
nice. A nice thing to do. And if you've got a Nintendo Switch and you've got access to whatever Nintendo Switch online, just run through Mario Bros.
I would definitely advise All Stars over Mario Brothers 3 though, just because it's a bit prettier.
I don't know. I think we discussed this a number of times on the podcast. I think the handling is a little bit more floaty, and I don't like it.
I don't genuinely see a difference in the handling. I know that we looked it up before, and people say that some people are in the camp that it is, some people say that there's not. I don't feel it at all.
Yeah, I do.
I
remember feeling it on the SNES, and then on the Wii, and then most recently on the online release. I don't know. Maybe it's not actual floatiness, but maybe it's some slight change in the graphics overhaul.
Yeah.
That my brain just is a tiny bit out of sync with, stopping distances and jumping distances and yada yada yada. But yeah, like I say, I was in super flow mode, so who knows. Anyway, it's the end of the year and almost a new year, but before that, Richie.
Yes, we have our final character item level of the year, even though when you listen to this, it will be
August,
already.
July,
yeah,
spring,
maybe. No,
knows?
it'll
May.
be the second?
February.
The second.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be the second. And it is your turn to guess what my character item level may be.
Okay, is it a character item or level or chi?
It is a character.
Ooh, is it a male character?
That is entirely up to you.
Interesting. Is it a human?
Yes.
Is it from an RPG?
No.
Is it from a Nintendo game?
No.
No. Is it from a Capcom game?
Yes.
Ooh. Who can be male or female in a Capcom game? Okay. Is it a zombie?
No.
Damn. Is it a hunter?
No.
Is it from Resident Evil?
No.
Is it from Capcom? Street Fighter.
Yes.
It is
Yes.
a gender ambiguous Street Fighter character.
Yep.
I don't know who that could be. Is it Poison?
Yes.
Hey!
Well done. Well done. Well done. And the gender ambiguity is, I think, in an official statement, they sort of said, if you want to think this person is transgender or if you want to think this person is female, it's entirely up to you.
Because they are now a character in Street Fighter 6, right?
They've been in since Street Fighter 5.
Okay. But they're originally from
Final Fight.
Final Fight.
As an enemy.
Yeah, as an enemy type. Because there's a very similar character type in Streets of Rage.
Yes.
Is that, the sexy stripper woman enemy archetype.
Yes, exactly. But it's more like the 80s sort of punk vibe. So like all of these games were sort of like New York 80s vibe, and so I think they were just generically in there, but Capcom or whoever it was had to say that they were male because you couldn't be hitting females in the characters.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, so it was kind of like they made them transgender without to just get past any kind of violence towards women.
Or it could be a transvestite.
Exactly. Right? Yeah.
That because it's wherever what is the name of the city where that's based? It's a fake city, isn't it?
Yes, but I think it's God.
But it's basically New York.
Yeah. But basically, I think there was this whole move from cis to trans when they introduced her into I think it was Street Fighter X Tekken, because they had that whole tag thing with Poison and Andre. Did you ever play that one?
No.
That's a game we're all still waiting for, which is Tekken X Street Fighter.
Yeah, I was about to ask what happened to that.
Yeah,
they made the big announcement of, hey, we're doing one, they're doing one,
and I think we've had 2 Tekkens since.
Listen, maybe 2025 is the year we finally get.
Well, didn't they bring in like Akuma into one of the Tekkens just for a bit of fun? They've had loads of crazy cameos.
They have, yeah, and more than we get to see. I think they have more in Japan than we get to see here.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not fun.
No, just in general stuff.
Yeah, that's not cool. Okay. Right.
Speaking of, Poison.
Yeah.
Wasn't there there's another one, right?
There's another one. What?
Like a palette swap sprite?
Yes. Roxy.
Roxy.
Yeah.
I feel Roxy doesn't get enough of the limelight.
I think it's just palette swap for a different color here. Yeah.
Do you reckon Roxy says to Poison, "Hey, it's weird that there's a Wario and a Waluigi, but you don't have a."
Oh god, yeah. I think they are pink and orange as well. Just full on. Maybe that's the Peach and Daisy of Capcom.
There, officially, you heard it first.
Poison and Roxy.
Poison and Roxy are the Capcom princesses in the same way that what's her face is a Disney princess.
Deadpool.
Deadpool is a Disney princess. Yeah, that's what I was going for. No, Dogpool. Dogpool's a Disney princess. Officially. Now, with the new year upon us, we are going to revisit some revolutions.
The French Revolution. Yeah. Let them eat cake.
Resident Evil Revelations. It's going to be a tough episode for you. No, we're going to revisit some resolutions we made around about this time last year. And we're going to make some for the coming year. You can hear what progress we made on the year before on an episode called De Lang Syne. And we made some resolutions for 2024. Richie.
Yes.
How did you do with some of your resolutions?
Oh, absolutely awful.
So we every year now for like 4 years in a row, we've mentioned a pair of DC games, one of which has already come up. Suicide Squad: Death to Justice League.
I didn't touch it. I didn't buy it. Wasn't interested.
And then Gotham Knights, is that even still? No, that hadn't come out yet, right?
Yeah, I think I'm just done with that series until like an actual new Batman comes out. I think Ubisoft Montreal, is it? Just kind of lost the plot there, and like just give the people what they want, which is another city roamer. They did it fine where they just put in Catwoman, who can do exactly the same as Batman, and basically Robin and Batgirl do exactly the same as Batman. So why can't we just have a game that just doesn't have Batman, but has those other people that do exactly the same thing? And it bugs me.
Why don't you want Batman again?
I don't mind having Batman again. I do think it's fine to have someone else. But yeah, I can't remember how the third one ended. I think Batman might have died.
Oh, fair enough. Or fallen off a cliff out of shot.
Yeah.
In an ambiguous way.
I can't remember exactly because I love those games. But I mean, the stories were complete bullshit. I loved it. Well worth a playthrough. We just don't have a new one, and I guess they're of their time and things like that. But I used to love doing that whole. You would get surrounded by all of the bad guys, and you do your Batman combos, and as you upgraded, you could use the zipper thing to do a get over here, or you would do the whole sneaking around and try and take everyone out, and then go and fight one or two guys and stuff like that. There's a lot of ways to approach that game, and a great story. But why can't we have another Batman?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's weird because comics aside, which is kind of strange given that comics is where all this shit came from.
Yeah.
Because I think DC's like fallen off the wagon a bit. It seems to infect almost all other media as well. I don't know. I think there's some decent animated series. I think we're just waiting for another reset, right? And then maybe some good games will come off the back of that.
Well, we got the Robert Pattinson one, which was everybody was quite happy with, and we're waiting for the sequel to that, which is going to have the Joker in it next year or something, or it's going to start filming next year.
New Superman looks okay.
Oh, I don't know. I looked at some of those characters and the I hope there's a lot happens in post. Like looking at the suit, I thought this looks cheap. This looks like Halloween costume cheap.
We'll see. I mean,
I love that they did Nathan Fillon's guy thingy. They kept the stupid haircut.
Yeah,
I think that's cool. That's awesome. But I saw, is it Hawk Girl or Hawkman that they have one of the two?
yes,
And the suit just looked
2 seconds.
awful.
Yeah,
And I'm not sure who the dude with the T on his face is. But it's the same thing with Marvel as well. It's like don't teach me about characters that I don't know anything about with the expectation that I should know about them.
and but at the same time, stop giving me the same origin story. Like, I don't care about Uncle Ben anymore because I've seen him and her and Ultimate. Just
Yeah, and what the fuck is a Blue Beetle? You know, and
that film's quite good.
is it? But
Yeah.
I don't think many people can get past the name. You know, that's the problem. Like,
There's a whole the Beetle in DC is one of my favorite. From kind of like the Rogues Gallery.
okay,
But, there's been like 18 of them, and, the criminals keep giving the suit to their daughters. There's like a whole team of Beetles. I don't even know if they're part of Blue Beetle or not. There's just a lot of Beetles, yeah.
yeah,
It's not great.
it's just like we know what we like, and like it just seems stupid that we're getting a lot of characters we don't care about rammed down our throat. It's going to get even worse with the introduction of the mutants, because there's so many of the mutants that people are like, they're so precious about, and yet we don't have a clue. Like, we as in the general populace, me as in slightly geeky, I still don't know about like stupid mutants that are like so niche. Like, even in the original X-Men, I didn't know about the guy that makes bones, or the guy that whatever he touches can turn into other things. Like, anyway,
you
yeah,
didn't
sorry,
touch
I
any of
rant.
those, and you're probably not going to. You're off the DC horse for a while.
I'm excited if they bring out another Batman, but like, nothing's been said, and I don't care.
That's true. Did you play? It wasn't really a resolution, but you'd finished Resident Evil 4, and you mentioned that Separate Ways was coming out. Did you play Separate Ways?
I did play Separate Ways, and I forgot it's a very different game.
It is.
It is, and it's very, very. It's almost. What's the word I would look for? It's more scenario based. And you've got these little sections where you need to work out what you can do in this time, and if you look around you can maximize your items versus sneaking through, and there was just lots of things. I'm not far in. Like, I played it for a little bit, and like, I'm still at the castle, and I'm quite enjoying like the challenge there. So yeah, I've played Separate Ways, but I haven't completed it. But yeah, I kind of forgot that it was very different from Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Do you remember how different is it from the original Separate Ways, or is it quite faithful in the same way that Resident Evil 4 remake is the same as Resident Evil 4?
I don't know. I can't remember, I'll be honest with you. I got Separate Ways on the PS2, or like it was only available on the PS2 or something like that. Because it originally came out in the GameCube.
Yes.
And then I bought it again for the PS2.
Yes.
I did play it. I'm pretty sure I completed it, but I don't remember.
I remember kicking monks in the hedge maze. That's my strongest memory.
And you got the bowgun. You got the bowgun.
Oh yeah, the bogan.
Bogan. And the hedge maze as well. Yes. And yeah, in fact, I got past the hedge maze, and yeah, It's a pain because of the dogs, and if you go in certain directions, you can sort of pass them. But if you don't want to, there are ways you can get past them and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember the dogs sucking. The dogs have always sucked.
They have.
But in a good way. Well, okay, that's good. Well done there.
Yeah.
One of my big ones.
Did you finish Horizon Zero Dawn?
I did.
And what is your definition of finished?
So I finished Horizon Zero Dawn, and I did platinum it, and I almost finished. I've got one thing left to do in the DLC, which is the Frozen North, I think, which adds, I think, because I don't know, because I've just had the game and the DLC, but it adds this massive fucking area at the top. And yeah, this is like one last challenge. I know what I need to do. It's just doing it. You need to like beat a hunting trial within a certain time. So yeah, that's it. Platinumed.
Nice.
Almost platinumed the DLC. Very, very nice game. I think, as I said last time, I'm not at all interested in picking up the sequel, which is apparently is even better. So I think I've had my fill. This game is too big. Although I am slightly intrigued by the Lego Horizon game.
Oh my god, okay.
Just because I think it's weird that it's a weird thing, no?
Yeah.
Because, you know, Lego games are, well, there's so many franchises they're based on. And I don't know how big the overlapping sections are of the Venn diagram of Lego and Horizon. And I also think it's quite weird because, like, on Switch, you can't play any of the Horizon games apart from Lego Horizon. Is it Switch exclusive, Lego Horizon?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Anyway, I probably won't get it, particularly because it's like 60 quid.
No.
I probably won't get it, but I'm intrigued that it exists. I'm happy that it exists because it's a weird one, you know. It'd be like, I don't know, what would it be like? It'd be like Lego F-Zero, you know?
Yeah. But I don't know. I got those vibes which you're talking about from the Lego movie, Lego game.
Yeah. I think that's just where they iterated too hard. There's too many levels of iteration. Anyway, yeah, Horizon's done. And I promised you that I'd tell you what Zero Dawn was. Spoilers, anyone, for Horizon Zero Dawn. It was supposed to be. Are you interested in as to what Zero Dawn is?
Yeah, I'm interested.
It was supposed to be the thing that basically killed off this Skynet, but it didn't.
Oh, right. So this is a post-apocalyptic rebuilding society then?
Yes, it's a shit, things have gone wrong. Let's create some silos which will bring people back in 200 years when the AIs have had enough chance to try and work out a way to defeat it. Basically.
Okay.
In a nutshell. Slightly better than that to play, but that's the thrust of it.
Cool.
Great. Now we've got a big item on my list here, Richie, because I've got a lot to talk about and you've got a lot to talk about. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
We've talked about this on the thing already. The podcast already.
On the podcast already.
I don't like Final Fantasy VII. I believe the controls are fucky.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I've been, for context, having said that, the uncompleted achievements on that game, trophies in that game, are all related to hard mode, and I thought hard mode was too hard. But what I didn't realize is you can carry over your levels and stuff. So just in fucking around and getting some of the silly achievements, I've leveled everything up, and so now hard mode's hard. You have to think about it, but not hard. So I am playing it through again on hard.
Okay.
Hard. And I just don't get your complaint. And listen, let's not go over it again.
No. Very, very simply, it is an action slashy game, which also seems to have a menu down the bottom, and like you can't just blindly play as one character. You have to control the other characters, and I just don't get it. I just fully don't get it. I just don't understand why there's gauges for like attacking. I feel like I need the 20-hour tutorial that Final Fantasy 13 gave me when it moved from.
Here's a train. Here's a linear train line. We're gonna teach you how to play this game.
Yeah. But even when I go back in and I read the tutorials, I'm just like, okay, cool. This is how you play the game as Cloud. Great. Yeah. There's nothing that explains, switch to this other character. You're going to need to do this to heal, or basically, I don't get it. I just don't get it, and it wasn't fun. Everything else about the game is amazing. The characters, the setting, the music, but the actual core gameplay is wrong and bad, and you should be ashamed if you like it.
Maybe you've just not played a game of that style. I don't think it's it's one where
be Devil May Cry or be an RPG. You can't be in between.
You can't. I think you're thinking of it too literal. It's like it's a bit like Paper Mario, I guess.
Okay.
Kind of, in that when you're doing the slashies, like the basic attacks, that's just to build up pips. It's all about how you use your pips.
Okay.
So with all the characters, it's like, hit
but
5 times.
In Final Fantasy, yeah. But in Final Fantasy VII, literally everything you were aiming for was not needing to ever use magic or anything like that. You just hit them with your sword or your basic attacks.
That's not true.
Well, later on, yeah, absolutely, because once you get the limit breaks, it was just pointless. It's like you're doing 10k damage per hit.
No, there was stuff with magic, like, this guy can't get hit, or this guy's at range, or...
But even then, you were just switching the materia to put the effect on the sword or something like that.
Yeah, but there's loads of that. There's loads of that here. And in fact, a lot of a lot of the support material is all about supporting your kind of switching between characters and lining up actions. You get boosts for doing that.
And again, sorry, just to go back to that, lining up actions.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't believe they actually happen. I feel that the moment you switch from one character to another, the other character does whatever the fuck they want. I do not believe, I do not have any faith in the AI that, like, okay, right, Barrett, you do a cure spell on, Aeris, and I will be attacking the big guy, and then I'll go back to switch through, and I will attack the big guy, and I'll see that a cure spell still hasn't been, cast, and so I end up with my main character, the main controlled character, probably being Cloud, having to throw potions at everyone whilst I'm supposed to be the person hitting the boss, and it annoys me. Like,
well, there is
why is it not clear?
There is. I mean, you can get interrupted. So there are, like, if you get interrupted whilst you're casting whatever,
that's fine. Then get back to fucking doing the cure spell. No,
because then you don't have any pips. You got to earn the pips again. But I'm playing it on hard, and there's two things. I think one thing I forgot, one thing that is unique to hard. So in hard, you can't use items at all.
Okay.
So it becomes a little bit more about managing resources, because the only thing you really run out of is MP. So you can't get it back from an item. You don't get it back from a bench. So it becomes managing that. And then the other thing is, which is a bit like playing a fighting game without bothering to learn how to dodge or block, is I forgot or didn't know that if you want to cast the higher level of the spell, you basically press right. So you have once your materia has leveled up, so
Yeah.
Cure, Cura, Curaga, whatever
Yeah,
the other
yeah.
one is, Regen. So I played the first 6 chapters just with like
The basic
Cure,
Cure
Fire,
one. That's
Thunder,
so
yeah.
you were playing your own hard mode. That's
I was playing my
fantastic, yeah.
own hardware, and then when I worked it out, I was like, oh shit, okay, this will be much easier because you can heal the whole fucking party with one spell instead of like 1,000 HP at a time.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, like that's still my gripe. I don't know. Like I'm struggling with it, and I don't know if I'll ever get back to it. It feels like I have been too. It's hurt me too many times because I've gone back to it like 4 or 5 times to think, right, okay, I'm just gonna learn how to play the game, and then when I learn it, it just feels like this is a shit way to play this game. Why is it not? Why doesn't it just work? Considering it used to be a turn-based RPG, or its previous incarnation was a turn-based RPG where you knew exactly what you were doing, and so fair enough, you have to wait for the characters and everything happens, but you were selecting a spell and you were going to do that spell, but you were doing it for each one of your characters. And in this one, you're controlling a main character and hoping the fucking AI does something sensible. And it feels like when you give it a command, it's kind of like, hey, Barrett, if you're up for it, if you're feeling that kind of way, do you mind throwing a potion in my direction? And then the AI will just think, yeah, nah, I'm not in the mood. Nah, I just tell me again. And that
Fair
bothers. There's no certainty when you're playing it, and it doesn't feel right to me in a game like Final Fantasy VII to have too much faith in fluffy commands. Anyway, okay. Breathe. And of course, we were wondering if Rebirth had come out on the PC.
So it hasn't yet, but I see it is scheduled
23rd of January.
23rd of January.
Yeah.
I guess you're not going to pick it up.
Certainly not if I haven't finished Final Fantasy. And from what I hear, there's a lot of just mini games.
I don't know. I know nothing about it. I've seen the trailer, and then I've managed to. I think like the Final Fantasy, I don't know, community or influencer sphere or whatever. It kind of happens somewhere that never gets put in my way, right?
Okay, yeah.
There are these huge communities out there. I know they are. I just never see or hear anything from any of them. So yeah. So I don't really know beyond the trailer. So I'm kind of excited.
No, that's good.
I mean, fuck knows when I'm going to get it. Or if I'm going to get it.
I mean, you can already get it, can you not? Oh no, it's PS5 exclusive.
PS5, and then the Yuffie or Yuffie, or however the fuck you pronounce it, stuff is PS5 only.
PC as well.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is that the version you got?
Yeah, so there's only one version on the PC, and it's Intergrade, which has the
Cool.
DLC included.
We'll never see that. Okay, so I will interject with my first resolution, which is to finish Final Fantasy VII Remake on hard.
Okay.
And platinum that mofo.
Good stuff.
And I'm about halfway through.
Okay.
And
Good.
fun.
Then I look forward to hearing about your completion of hard mode.
Of hard mode. And some secret boss shenanigans that you have to do. Richie, last year you were in a moral quandary, an impasse, shall we say, when it came to Baldur's Gate 3. You had a character that you started
yes.
and that you loved, but then they patched so you could get a support character, which you thought you might want to do, but then you wanted to roll a paladin if you did, and they were going to be a paladin, and so it didn't. And basically that was stopping you from playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes. And again, we touched on this, I think, a podcast or two ago. Baldur's Gate 3 has a storyline, and it's great. It's fantastic. I am still on the third act of it. Actually, not still on it. I've moved to the third act now. I am sticking with the character I have, but
Yay!
they keep bringing new content out, and I'm just like all of this content's great, but there's one story in Baldur's Gate 3. What I don't understand why you would replay it, but like it's fine. I love all of the things, and I love playing about with all of the options for the characters, and I've made several characters over and over again. It's an amazing game. I'm just taking my time going through it. I pick it up every so often, and I'll play it for a few hours, and I'm in no rush to complete that game because I don't think I will do it more than once.
Weird. There's a very different way to playing it than quite a few other people who are playing it over and over again to kind of see the storylines they didn't see, or maybe the side stories, and do bits and pieces. Not that either is better or worse than others, but
I think I'm happy to see it in the only way that I will see it, and that I did touch on like the Paladin, and I started and I played through a couple of things, and then I did the whole Oathbreaker, and you get this big Scottish Paladin telling you like you've broken your oath and stuff like that, and that was cool. And I imagine with the other characters, or playing even as one of the characters, like playing as Astarion or whatever, would offer you something, but it's the same plot line. You've got to get past the goblins, you've got to save the druid village, or decimate them, play as an evil character, see it from different angles, absolutely. But I think I'm happy just to have the one playthrough and have that as my own and only approach to it, because it's such a big narrative that like it would be, I don't know, I just feel, I don't know, like we'll leave it there.
okay.
Yeah, I'm still playing through it, still enjoying it. It's an amazing game.
Yeah. At your own leisure.
Yeah. So, another one that you brought up, which you were so excited about, was the Kingdom Hearts GPS action RPG game.
I brought it up asking you if you were gonna play it.
That's not how I remember it. So I looked it up before we got here, and it's still not available yet.
Jeez, all those people keen for the GPS enabled gameplay, just
pre-registration information coming soon.
Just who is getting that excited for this game? I don't know. Do you know what I've said at the end of this year? And I know it's like a symptom of modern gaming, but I have seen so many of those. Those horrible roadmaps.
No.
Like when Marvel was announcing its next 5 phases or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Diagrams like that. We're like, here's what's coming up in your favorite games as a service game over 2025, and then there's this event, and there's this event, and there's this event, and it's just it hurts my soul every time I see one of these, Gantt charts, which you have to download and then zoom in 3 times to see what any of the lines say, because there's 14,000 different events going on for your favorite games as a service, and it's just really depressing. I think really depressing.
No, I mean there's a degree of fun and will they hit these goals as well.
But it's just so true. Like, so it's like for individual games, So like, here's what's coming up here's 2025 for whatever it might be, Pokemon Unite, and it's like
Warframe.
This weekend, we've got this thing here, we've got this event coming up.
Pokemon Sleep.
yeah. I mean, come on. Anyway, with fresh off of Mario Bros and Mario Bros 3, Like,
Yeah, yeah.
40 years later, those games still hold up, and they never had a fucking Gantt chart roadmap. It's just not very exciting. It's just so corporate and not very exciting, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like it's exciting for the people making the games that they've made a roadmap,
Yes.
but they seem to advertise and are oblivious that this isn't interesting for the consumer. You know.
Yeah, and there's definitely a sweet spot in terms, and some games have missed it in my opinion. There's a sweet spot in terms of announcing something and then the game coming out. If you do it too early, then you just frustrate everybody, or people forget, that the game is coming out. I just always err on the side of, announce it when it's done. I know that doesn't allow you to kind of tease or trail, and maybe it does impact sales, but
yeah,
seeing some of the games that we're talking about on our list in our kind of like niche little area of gaming that we interact with, some of these have been in development for like 2 years. Who's looking forward to these? Pre-register your interest for, pre-order the battle pass for season 1 of a game that's got to ship in 3 years' time to get
there's
exclusive
a very
skin of a Pokeball.
there's a very good meme about why are you pre-ordering a digital copy of a game.
Yeah,
it's not like they're gonna run out, but there's incentives. Like there's incentives to pre-order, and I have definitely pre-ordered. Like for instance, Dragon Ball Sparking. I was all over that as soon as like they announced the big pack that has everything. I was like, I'm in. I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no reason to pre-order because you can just get it on day one. But there's something I like about it. Having it.
Yeah. And there are some crazy incentives. So whatever version of Final Fantasy VII Remake I've got has Cactuar and Carbuncle, which was part of some thing.
Yes, Intergrade has those ones as well.
What was I looking at the other day? Some game, and it's like 18 different versions of the same game, depending on which one you pre-order and delay. I think it's like it's a thing which obviously has come from the world of Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And I think if you're a super fan, then that's absolutely fine. You can just go all in. But yeah. Anyway, next.
Right. Let's talk Capcom, since we were talking Capcom before.
Yes.
So last year we were debating what is going to be the next Resident Evil remake game.
Weirdly,
surely they would have announced something by now.
Weirdly, so we mentioned whether they were going to remake 1 or Code Veronica, and then
or Resident Evil 5.
Or Resident Evil 5.
Yeah.
Which I think was on the low end of our estimation.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they're doing, I guess, but there's not really.
So there was a lot of rumors that it was going to be Code Veronica, but they're focusing on Resident Evil 9 before they do another remake. So Resident Evil 9, I think, is the next one that's due out. So we can sit in our hands for a little while, I think, before we get another remake. And I think it should be Veronica out of all of the games, to be honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a remake of 1.
Yeah, same. Like I should have played the original Resident Evil 1 remake, but I didn't. Actually, on a similar Capcom note, I did pick up Good Old Games brought out Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3. The original, sort of like as in the ones that came out in 1996, 98, and 2000. So they're great. They're actually really, really great. And I mean, it's just basically I've paid for the game. that I've bought on about 10 different other platforms again. But it was nice to have them, and it's nice to have all 3 of them in one place as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I replayed Resident Evil this year on the DS. The DS version.
The DS version's great. It's got some extras in there, and you can tap her boobs.
Touch screen business. Still holds up.
It does.
Anything else, Capcom? Did you?
Devil May Cry 6 was another word that we said last year. Has that been announced? No, it hasn't, and I'm annoyed it hasn't. And again, I'm just going to reiterate all of the same arguments. It was very popular. It sold out really well.
It's huge.
Devil May Cry 5 was amazing. I was so happy to have it back. Yet we're not getting a Devil May Cry 6. When is it coming out? Why is it not coming out? It bugs me.
I don't really know what are they doing. There's the fighting game collection.
Yes, and then we've got the.
Do you know what we need? Do you know what Capcom need? A roadmap, Rich.
Do you know what? I guarantee there is one, but none of the things that we want. It'll be like undisclosed Resident Evil, or like they don't want to disclose it probably because they're not far enough on with it, and that makes me sad. I just want to play another Devil May Cry because 5 was excellent.
Yeah. Who knows what they're working on? Oh well. Oh, Akami, right? Am I doing Akami again?
No, Okami came out remastered along with some other obscure one. That came out recently, I think. Okami remastered on the PC. That's the wolf one with the brush.
Yeah,
right?
it's the wolf one with the brush.
Yeah. It came up in some article I read about games with cool alternative controls, and Okami was like, yay, everyone should do this one because you get to pause the game and paint. Okay.
Nice. Last year I was looking forward to 2 Tomb Raider trilogies.
Yeah. Did you do the modes?
I didn't. So I finished Tomb Raider. I finished Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm halfway through Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I'm enjoying them a great deal. I put a toe in half of the modes in Rise of the Tomb Raider. Basically all the offline single player ones. There's quite a cool kind of Lara Croft zombie mansion mode, which was fun. But I didn't do all the loot box card stuff. But I might go back to it. I might. The problem is because I'm playing all 3 of them, and in real life they were separated quite a bit. The slight changes in the control systems between the different versions is really tricky. But yeah, so now I'm currently playing through Shadow of the Tomb Raider. If memory serves, it was the one that got slated. People were really unhappy with it. I don't really understand why. It's kind of got a cool, Aztec-y
I think it's really short.
vibe. So there is a... When you save, it tells you your percentage.
Yeah.
And it's kind of on the high side. Well, not on the high side. Feels higher than it should where I am.
Yeah.
But it's still taking me a lot of time to get to where I am.
Okay.
Enjoying that. And I did pick up, which I mentioned, the Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 remasters, remakes.
The ones where you can switch between the old and the new.
The ones where you can press the magic button to switch between old and new. And yeah, enjoying those very much. That's it.
Cool.
Play through those.
Another game that was coming out or came out this year was Princess Peach Showtime.
Yeah.
Didn't buy.
I played the demo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought if this game was 20 quid, I'd get it.
20 quid, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when they couldn't explain exactly what the gameplay was, and it looked like very little short mini games with pre-dress up, I was just kind of like meh.
It's it's kind of like that. So I think, I mean, by all means, download the demo 'cause it's quite generous. I think it lets you play through 2 of the costumes, 2 of
Right,
the 6
okay.
costumes, and it is as you suspect. It's like, okay, here's your gimmick. Here's a couple of levels which test this gimmick. A few collectibles. That's it.
Yeah.
So
It looked quite shallow. I was also quite embittered as well because I'm just fresh out of Mario RPG as well.
yeah, that was on the list.
Yeah, which I've already explained this on the podcast as well, but Mario RPG left me quite bitter in that when I was playing through it, it just felt, because they changed a couple of things here and there, but it felt like, and I think my quote was, a Kinder Egg toy version of the original Super Mario RPG. In all honesty, I would probably have more fun just playing the original game on the Switch emulation, but
Yeah.
they've chosen not to do that. So
For some mad reason.
well, of course, they just want people to buy the remake. But yeah, I just dropped off. I was just like, nah, this is not a fun game. And which is a shame because I was looking forward to that immensely because I've had a lot of fun with Super Mario RPG. The story remains the same, but the actual playing of it just felt a bit cheap and flimsy. Which is an odd thing. It's a very odd complaint for a game. But as long as you understand what I mean, then yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit like the floaty Mario All Stars.
Yeah, well, yeah, your impression of it. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. But
So,
mostly the same, just something that's just not right.
Something's just not right, yeah.
Something's not right. Although I think in your case, they've actively changed things to be not right.
Yeah.
I think that's the end of what we said we were going to do this year.
No, there's a few other things.
Okay.
You mentioned Crisis Core. You were excited about it.
I was excited about it. I am excited about it. I continue to be excited about it, and I continue to play it.
Brilliant. We were interested in the Sega remakes.
We were. What happened today? I didn't know.
They're still. They've just been pushed back to next year.
Oh, for fuck's sake! So we were talking about them in 2023.
3.
And not coming out till 2026. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
So 2025. But yeah, Streets of Rage 5 still on the cards. Crazy Taxi, I think, is the one that they actually got some footage for. And of course Golden Axe as well.
New Golden Axe, Jet Set.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
When it happens, it might
we'll
happen.
still be alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not especially. I mean, this is one of those classic things. I'm not especially interested in those, and the longer this drags on, the less interested I'll get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knows?
Exactly.
You know, maybe.
But yeah. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's most of what we mentioned.
Okay.
So now we have our own resolutions and things we would like to, or things we are looking forward to.
Yes. Once again, looking at what's slated to come out in 2025, there's not a huge amount that you know.
Sega remakes.
Slapping my well, no, that's not coming out. I'm putting my money down or pre-ordering or da da da.
I think, let's address the elephant in the room, because I think the biggest potential release for next year is going to be GTA 6. Are you interested, hyped, or at all? No.
Not at all. Not bothered.
Did you enjoy GTA 5?
I did. Not enough to finish it.
Oh, okay. But what's your definition of finish? Did you finish the plot?
No, I didn't
Okay.
finish the plot. I think there's just so much to do. It's just it's a weird complaint. I enjoyed it. There was just a lot to do. I think the constant distraction, or the way I play it, is just constant distraction. So yeah. So, if I wanted my GTA fix, that's there, and I could kind of pick it up again. And then we mentioned it earlier this year on the podcast. Because GTA 5 and Ultimate GTA Online just introduced so much stuff, I'm curious as to what GTA 6 will do or look like in order to they kind of painted themselves into potentially a little bit of a corner, when it was the game that could do everything, into, well, what do you look forward to in the next, like a bigger map?
Yeah.
This map was like too big as it was anyway. More shit to do. Well, it's kind of, there was a lot of shit to do in that one. Arguably too much. Graphical enhancements. I mean,
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
I played GTA 5, on the 360. Just to date GTA 5.
Yeah, I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Before they brought it out for the next gen versions, which had the first person way of playing it, which just sounds a horrible way to play GTA 5. I played through it. I'm not going to say in entirety, because I did the plot, and I played through the plot, and I got some of the side quests and things like that. I loved it, like the great big world, doing the special missions, going on jet skis, switching between the three characters. I loved everything about it. I occasionally will see GTA 5 pop up my feed, and it's all talking about the online stuff that I have no idea what they're talking about. Like, you've got crazy cars doing loop-de-loops and like all of this crazy other stuff that I have no idea what's going on. Nor do I care, because for me GTA 5 is just playing through the plot, and I think they did a lot of very interesting things. If I get GTA 6, it'll be because there is a good, solid, standard single player affair. If they do some bullshit like Diablo 4 or something like that, where it becomes multiplayer and you sort of like always online and there's just people around you and stuff like that, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in having anyone else from the real world. I would like to just have my single player storyline and live in my own little world. I think that's all I want from GTA 5.
Is it due to come out in 2025?
That's the other thing I was going to say. It is due autumn 2025, and it's not a resolution, but at this time next year, when we're having our resolutions chat, I'm going to very, very much highlight and pose that did GTA 6 come out, and my money is on it has not come out and is due for autumn 2026.
I think that's a fairly safe bet.
Yeah.
The other game that we're potentially both interested in, although we know next to nothing about it, is Pokemon Legends ZA.
Yes, so this is the Zygarde one that's going to be set in Lumio City.
Yeah, I mean, that's as much as we know about it, really.
Yeah. Except it's going to follow the same mechanics as Arceus. So
don't really know. I don't think that's guaranteed.
I thought the whole concept of the legends was to have. All right, well maybe they'll change it up. Maybe it'll be a bit more futuristic or something like that.
Something.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And in fact, that brings me on to one of my resolutions, which is to actually do the DLC of Pokemon.
Oh
yeah. So get back on the wagon. So currently, my only Pokemon fix that I am enjoying is Pokemon Sleep.
Yeah.
And it's mental that there is a depth of mechanics even in that game. But it is also very microtransaction built, and I am aware that you have to spend money on it, despite what they say. Or, well, you can argue differently.
Yeah, no, I don't think you have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I haven't.
Yeah,
and yeah, I get enough dopamine out of it to look at it 3 times a day.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I'm very much enjoying the events and things like that in that game. But yeah, I would like to finish that off before the next game comes out, and of course there is this new potential Switch successor console to come out. So there's going to be an announcement in March, likely for a release at the end of next year. As to what it is so crazily guarded at the moment, and there's so many theories sort of batting around about it. Because apparently Nintendo's been doing certain DS related things, in that they were there's some patents have come up and renewal of patents of DS games, so we're potentially going to see another dual screen system.
No, I think that's just re-upping of. It's obviously the whatever time period post those original DS things.
So I have some wild ass theories. I don't know if you have any theories as to what it might be.
No, I don't, because I get really fucked off when people, especially now, when people start gagging for the next, and it happens, almost the minute a system comes out. People say, "Oh, Sony need to do a PS6 or Nintendo need to do a Switch 2," and it's always annoyed me because the catalogs of these devices are so huge.
Yeah.
And as we've talked about a number of times, the increments are getting less and less. That I just be quite happy with this, particularly with the Switch, with them just churning out the kind of pace of things they have been. It's been great to get, there's like loads of indie games just come out on Switch at the same time they do everything else. They're still kind of packaging up stuff off the Wii U, including a game which I'm potentially excited about, but might talk about later. So yeah, and in fact, not thinking about anything that's coming out in 2025. My year is kind of full just with playing what I've already got.
Yeah, no, I know, absolutely.
And I just can't imagine what it is that again, like, a bit like the GTA 6 problem, right? It's going to be kind of content. It's just going to be stories, narratives, because yes, the Switch is a bit underpowered compared to some of the others, but is that affecting any of my gameplay experience? Not really.
No, see, but that's, I think you're in the minority. So I think a lot of people are looking at the Switch, specifically when you don't have it docked, or indeed when you do have it docked, because it only goes up to 1080, and thinking this isn't great. And I had my issues with it, like even when it did come out, like how underpowered Pokemon felt, and the popping in, and the weird thing in the distance of like characters walking about at 1 frame per second, sort of thing.
But is that like is that like a £400 care?
I mean, I'm not going to pretend that the moment Nintendo announce a new console, I'm not going to be excited. Like I'm all over. I'm just curious as to what it's going to be and how it's going to change. I think a very, very basic increase will be the ability to do 4K plus, and a better handheld screen if they are continuing down that Switch line of things. I also have a feeling that because foldable screens are a bit more what's the word I'm looking for? A bit more
Robust.
affordable and robust and available to consumers. I think there's going to be a foldable element in there as well. I think we're maybe going to have a smaller console that fits into something.
There's such a stupid paradox there in having a small 4K screen. Do you know what I mean? What's the point?
Well, no, but I mean, it's weird. Like I can tell, like when you stream things on your phone, like if you download the high quality, everything looks good. But if you download the lower quality, you can see it's a little bit grainier and stuff like that. And I'm not even one of these fucking FPS heads either. Like I don't care how fast my game is running or how good it is, but I want it to be as good as possible. You know, but I don't play with frames per second on in the corner or anything like that.
Yeah.
But when the errors are glaring, such as in Pokemon, which did piss me off, then like let's have a more powerful machine, and I hope there will be something. It's probably gonna be around streaming in some fashion as well.
Yeah, I don't know, 'cause I don't know how successful obviously the PlayStation and the Xbox current consoles. Although actually, I'm not too sure about the PlayStation 5. But certainly, the PlayStation 4 launched with a lot of tools for sharing and streaming and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I just don't know how utilized they were, to be honest. Every single game has its own channel and trending channels and currently playing and
But I think we are not the age group or the focus group for that sort of stuff.
No, and what would make or break people's decisions to get a console that made streaming slightly easier. So yeah, I'm not at all interested in the hardware until we get some facts, and then it will really be software.
But I think it's going to have a quirk, in the same way as the Switch had a quirk, like being able to be docked and taken away. I think they're going to keep that, but I think they're going to have a Meteor-based system that can somehow stream to the little handheld, which may be foldable, much like the DS. That's my prediction. There's no grounding for that. No grounding for that at all.
No, hey, listen, it's just in the churn of speculation, which is as churny as it gets at the moment.
Yeah.
I'd be with any of these successes. I'm a bit of me is keen. I mean, particularly with Nintendo, because it's a system that I like. I'd be keen for, at least on the software front, something else. I think we just settled into this routine of, it will come out. It will have to have a new Zelda game, and it will have to have a suite of new Mario games, and it will have to have a suite of blah, 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 and it will have to have a and
I'd like it to have back compatibility. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, categorically, Nintendo have never ever brought out a sequel, so they haven't brought out the N64 2, or they haven't brought out the Dreamcast 2, or the Wii 2. They brought out something more. The Wii U was as close as it got to a sequel. except it had the other screen.
I mean, DS, DS Lite, DSi, 3DS.
Okay, I'll
2DS.
give you the Game Boy.
Yeah,
so-
Game Boy Color. Yeah, those ones
Game Boy Color, Game Boy
was
Advance, Game Boy Advance
overlap.
SP.
Yeah. Okay, we're not on the home console. So.
Not in the home console, and I don't think we're going to get a Switch 2. I think we're going to get something very different. I don't think it's going to be like a dockable thing, or if it is, it's going to have an interesting new way of playing non-dockable.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it will have to be compelling because we got my Nintendo Switch year in review thing.
Yeah.
And according to that, I played 56 games this year on my Switch. And almost 400 hours, half of which was on basically 3 games and the rest. But that's like, that's getting to like a, I guess all the consoles are, like a PC level of catalogue, right? Just, you've got your current games, you've got your old games, you've got your emulated games, and that's all I'm really interested in.
And to be honest, like when you look at the Nintendo catalog, especially since they started allowing the sort of more violent and sexy games in the Nintendo back catalog, it's very, very similar to Steam. So like you can see, like when an indie game of some kind comes out, you get the Nintendo Switch version as well as it comes out on Steam. So it's like it is a viable console, but
or I'd prefer it. 'Cause I'm like, that's not the kind of game that I want to waste my PC potential on. But playing on the go, great.
Yeah,
playing a bit.
And again, that's why you have things like the Steam Deck that have come into play and stuff like that, which is a great piece of kit, but it's now it's spreading to other PC handhelds and stuff like that, which is something that Nintendo's going to have to not compete with, but have a different take on as well. And they do. Nintendo do. I can't see it just being a box under your TV that plays Nintendo games. I think that there has to be something more to it. Some kind of tech that they're going to bring out that makes it a bit more different.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's for us next year. What happened? What is the Switch successor?
Yeah. Well, we know. And then I've just got like a quick list of things I think I'll be playing, but one of which maybe actually comes out next year.
Okay.
I've got to finish Splatoon 3 and the DLC.
Yeah.
I downloaded again on a supercut sale a game which you may have heard of. Well, the only thing people say about it is it's really, really good, despite what you might think. It's called Dave the Diver. Have you come across that?
Yep, I think I have it.
Yeah, that's great.
Dredge
exactly what
is
people
another
say.
one. Yeah.
Exactly what people say. You start playing it, and oh yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
So I'll be playing Dave the Diver. Weirdly, we got so because my wife's been ill, we got a projector to project onto the ceiling.
Okay.
And there's something about, and it's just very easy to connect the Switch to and the PlayStation. There's something about, rotting to death whilst you're literally not moving with a controller in your hands.
Yeah.
That makes playing a bunch of games far more compelling. It's really weird. Like I've picked up a suite of games that I put down a long time ago, and through a gigantic projection, new life is being breathed back into them, I guess. So, for example, Citizen Sleeper, which I had real tough issues with the UI when I first played it. Again, indie darling, sequels coming out. I picked that up again, and I'm really, really enjoying that. So I'll be finishing Citizen Sleeper this year.
Fantastic.
a game that I think I'm perhaps one of 4 people who's actually interested in. Donkey Kong Country Returns is coming out again. It's being
Fantastic.
released, so it's the last of the Wii U exclude. No, it wasn't Wii U, was it? It was Wii. Yeah, it's bizarre. It's like a 15-year-old game for Wii that they're, well, from what I've seen, they're not really remastering it at all. I'm just happy for another opportunity to play that game. So that's coming out this year. I think it's probably one of the few games that's coming out in 2025 that I'll be playing on launch, and I have pre-ordered it. Mostly because the pre-order bonuses on the Nintendo Store were insanely good. So looking forward to that. Tomb Raider 3, 4 and 5 remakes come out. Might pick that up. We'll see how far I get. I also, on a whim, because it was super discounted, picked up Burnout Paradise.
Burnout Paradise. Burnout Paradise is great.
It is great.
It's when the thing is with Burnout Paradise is early game is amazing, late game is painful. Really, because you have to choose.
You're hunting down.
You have to basically, you don't get a choice in the car you can use.
Okay.
You have to use the latest car, and if you're going to do a burn people off the road, you can only get to a certain level. You can maybe do like 15 of them before you no longer have a car which can withstand the amount of beating you're gonna get. So you need to do the other levels in order to make those cars available, and it just gets to a point where you are trying to do the races, or you're trying to do the chase downs, or you're trying to do the knocking people off the road, or the stunts and stuff like that, and you're on a really, really high level with all of them, but you might not have a decent enough car to actually do them.
This is one of the things that I was wondering, because I'm picking it up decades after it's initially released.
Yeah.
And again, one of the bonuses of picking up these games late is that you just get all this shit that we strung out with a roadmap you're just getting for a quarter of the price. And so when I boot that up, do you remember the starting inventory of cars is astonishing, like almost too much.
Oh, okay, then ignore everything I said.
Okay, because they can still, there's still cars to unlock, and the thing where when you hit certain milestones, a rival will pop up.
Yeah.
You have to knock off the road to get them. But yeah, it's not that you have to crawl along on. Something like 30 vehicles were open at the beginning.
You need to get the upgrades of the vehicles as well, so you'll get the decal version. Certain things. Yeah. And you need the big, heavy, strong vans or trucks for the knocking people off the road and things like that.
I did wonder if that was just because I'm playing it late, you get a lot of freebies thrown in, whereas if you're playing it on launch, for example, you would have to start with the shitty car and then, really grind your way up.
So I don't know what the difference is between the Switch version and the PC version. I think the PC version, I had the DLC unlocked as well, so I have the motorbikes.
Yeah.
Which
I've got 10 police cars. I've got a Formula 1 car. I've got.
Okay, then you definitely got more stuff. I don't have a Formula 1 car or police cars. Okay, so that might make things a little bit easier for you.
Right. In the meantime, I'm just loving just basically just herring around, right? Do I want to do a race? Yeah, I'll just do a race. Okay, I'll do a race. I failed. It doesn't matter because there's 4 events around the corner. I'll try and do that. Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
My only gripe with it, if I don't know if this is the same on the Switch. Does your game start with "Welcome to the Jungle"?
Yeah. Paradise City.
Oh, it's Paradise City. Yeah. But it takes ages to actually get into the game itself.
Yes,
you get a lot of Paradise City every single time.
Yeah, it does because it's an EA game as well, right? So it does this weird thing where it tries to connect to you. To the servers,
and the servers don't exist.
Yeah. all the meantime
And
Paradise City's playing.
And if you accidentally press A, you have to wait for it to cycle through to say server
to
not
say,
available.
oh no, this game doesn't have this anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a lot of fun and a game where you can just zone out, right? And just enjoy, the thrill of racing around the city.
I think you get the thrill of racing around the city, but the moment you start to enter any one of those challenges, it becomes anxiety straight away. I think I'm at the point in the game where it's very hard, and it's just like, all right, I can try and do a stunt thing, but the stunt thing, the points threshold is so high that like, right, yeah, fuck this 15th jump. I've lost the combo. There's no way I'm going to get enough points to get through. Like in Tricky, like if you were when you sort of first playing, you're just like,
sometimes
I'm
2 seconds off the line at night. I thought this.
Yeah, exactly. I've only got bronze. What the fuck, like. But it's exactly that same feeling in this, except it's harder to get back to the challenge you were on.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But I mean, because you do get the lovely bonus of being able to hear around the city, as you were saying.
It's fun. I wish. One thing I do wish is that the crash mode just isn't as good as 2 and 3.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bit ephemeral and over too quickly. I can understand why, because it'd be really boring to. But there should be an option to actually. I want to watch this car hit a lorry, hit a van, and the windshield blow out and all that business. But fine.
And that was all Criterion Games, which is down in Guildford.
Yeah. But to me, that's what Burnout, and for many people, I think that's what Burnout was.
Yeah.
Was those slow-mo crashes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I tend to agree. And I think I remember only ever playing it when going round to people's houses. And it was just one of these things that was on. Like, people were doing the Burnout crashes on the original Xbox. Yeah. And it's like, do you want to go? And like, and it's just like, amazing. Like, you hit the train as well. God.
Yeah.
And that was fun. But
we've got like a family PS2 memory card which we keep in a sealed lockbox because there are some like insanely high scores on some of those levels that we would just spend weekends just one level, just everyone just, pass the pad, have a go.
Yeah.
And then occasionally someone would do the magical thing where like you said, the bus would plow into the next lane of traffic, and then that would
Yeah. You get a few games that sort of replicate that. There's one on Android. I'm trying to remember something like Super Turtle. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, Super Turtle Toss. Which is basically, and it's all just random. You fire a turtle out of a cannon, and basically how far it bounces, different effects happen. It's all very stupid, cartoony stuff. And I think like we've seen a million games like this since the days of Flash. I think it's like Yeti Sports, if you remember, way back in 2000.
Yeah, there's one with a stunt guy, right? You kind of like throw him at a building in different ways.
And it's just all this random shit happens, and it's pure dopamine, and it's exactly the same as that feeling you get from Burnout. It's just like this craziness, and then something will happen. That random shit. Something will explode, and suddenly, oh no, I'm going even faster, and I'm even going even further, and my points are going up. This is amazing, and you've done nothing. All you've done is fire a dude out of a cannon, and it's the same with Burnout. All you did was drive at a certain angle at a certain speed, and that has caused the chain effect that you're just watching, going, amazing. Done nothing. You've done nothing. You can literally put the controller down, give it to the next person, and just watch it for the next, minute and a half.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Cool. Do you have any on your quickfire list of stuff you will be playing?
Stuff I will be playing, as I mentioned, I'd like to go through Pokemon again. Do the DLC.
You
Get
should.
back on the wagon. I have been enjoying Minecraft.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that 20-plus-year-old game. That's been a lot of fun, and again, it has content, updates all the time. So, like, literally, since I started playing a couple of months ago, there's been 2 updates, which include like new things to make your character pretty, and new challenges. A new thing has come out called the Pale Garden, where there's a character that will follow you around if you look at it, sort of like the Doctor Who enemy, the Angels.
Oh, yeah.
And if you turn your head away, it'll come after you. But you have to find a way to, there's cool stuff in it, and I spend most of my time just relaxing and building big pyramids and shit like that. So that's been a nice sort of I don't know, a nice comfort game.
Yep.
I think we used it when I talked about World of Warcraft. Like, that was kind of my comfort game. I think I've maybe moved from Warcraft to Minecraft. Has to have craft in the name, which has been nice to do. I have picked up a couple of games. There is one called The Rise of the Golden Idol, which got a really good review, and it's kind of a whodunit style game, which I quite fancy, sort of detective-y. It's a game that I'm looking forward to not having to pull out all the skills. I have, and you'll be excited about this one, Farley. Very, very excited. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I bought a new controller.
Oh wow.
And it is from 8-Bit Do, or 8-Bit Do, and it is a really, really amazing controller. Sort of like, I would say on par with like the Xbox controller. And I had a little go at Dragon Ball Sparking.
Yeah.
And first time got past a whole bunch of the things I could. So it literally was the trigger sticking that was holding me back.
What do I think it was? I think it's Dumbo's feather.
Yeah.
It's pure psychological placebo, but hey, if your new controllers helped you unblock that.
Yeah, entirely. But yeah, when you next time you come over, I'll let you see it as a controller. It's amazing. And
you let me see it. Don't touch. Just observe the controller.
But it's also cheap. It's like a quarter of the price of the Xbox One. So
that is good.
Yeah, so it's like, this is an amazing piece of kit. Can't say enough. I am not sponsored by, nor do I work for 8-Bit Do, but I cannot stress how great that piece of kit is. And yeah, Dragon Ball Sparking is back on the agenda, so I'm playing that a little bit more.
Sick.
And yeah, there's probably a massive back catalogue in the Switch. In the Switch, and also in my Steam games that I will pick up as we go through. Hidden Cats games. There's a million cat games.
So many cat games at the moment as well.
So many, and they're just, it's a license to print money. Just put a cat in it,
Yeah.
And there's loads of stuff on in the sale that went I've got 2 more days to buy all these things, and like, I feel I will. I've already got certain things in my cart that there's also another one that I really want to play, but I'm going to do it once I'm finished with Baldur's Gate 3. And it's the one that everybody talks about as like one of the best games that you should play. And I can't remember his name.
Is it Balatro?
No, Baltaro is apparently great. Yeah,
whatever that one is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's apparently it's a lot like Inscription, the card game bit in Inscription.
Yeah.
except without all the creepy stuff. Oh, Pony Island 2. That's due this year as well.
Oh, I was reading an article about his other game. Is it called Hex or something?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. The Hex.
the one where essentially it's like drawn together but for video games.
Yeah, so you've got the different characters that are sort of loosely based on Sonic and stuff like that. Yeah, I played through that one. I told you about it, and I think I've even talked about it on the podcast.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Blank that one, right?
So yeah, the Hex and Pony Island and Inscription are all by the same guy, but he's doing a sequel to Pony Island, and I can't rate those games high enough. I don't know if they have replay value, but playing through them each one time, the narrative is how you do narratives in games, and it was amazing. And yeah, like I would strongly recommend that to everyone. Disco Elysium was the game I was going to talk about.
Yeah. You should get in on Disco Elysium. Jeez. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Have you played it?
I've again, everyone's banging on about it, so it made me not play it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I played a demo and I was like, oh yeah, I can see this is really good. And then
But people have used Disco Elysium and Baldur's Gate 3 in the same sentence, which I'm guessing top-down strategy must be involved in some way. So I've decided I'm going to finish Baldur's Gate 3 and then I'm going to move on to the highest rating game I own.
Now the remake, which was supposed to be the game that you were supposed to do whilst you was not doing all these other games, now that that's gone, and to a certain extent Super Mario RPG was another thing that's gone, and now these Gotham games that's gone. Baldur's Gate 3 is your new Final Fantasy 7 remake.
There's nothing to really stop me playing or completing Baldur's Gate 3 other than I like to just chew it off in little bits.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I've been playing Valkyria Chronicles 4. I think it's like one of the third games I got on my Switch, and it's precisely because I'm enjoying it so much that I just want to do it in little bits. So I'll pick it up, do a mission, level up all my guys, read through the story, and then I'll be like, okay, I'll put it away again because I don't really want this to end.
Yeah. I think that might be the thing. Is like I'm on the final act of the game, and I know great things are going to happen. And yeah, I think maybe that's it. I just don't really want it to end.
I want to give it. I also want to give. It sounds like the kind of game that you want to give your attention to, right? Rather than like I'm playing this and listening to a podcast and watching TV and I'm cooking, so I'm playing it and then I'm pausing and then I'm coming back to it.
I think that's the thing with Minecraft. With Minecraft, it is I only play that game with music playing. Or it's. Whereas Baldur's Gate is an experience, it's a very, very a full experience. Whereas you want to have something. No, I hear you entirely.
Well, does that wrap us up?
I think it has to wrap us up. This is an epic podcast.
Again, classic. I don't think we'll have much to say. We'll get it in the bag, done. Well, there we go. There's our predictions. We'll see you in the future. Kanzi, Woman, and Richie. How did they do? Listeners, readers, followers, who knows? We'll find out. Have a great end of the year. See you in 2025. There goes the Maniac.
Why'd he 2025 me?
Hey.